connected to everything, and that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
I'm gonna wait till John hit that music in the back. There it is. All right. I don't know. That was a great ad. Thank you. I love it. This is things people don't want to talk about. Brought to you by God Level. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri, home of the original St. Paul. You can only get one right here. I am a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a nurse. I'm an aunt. I'm a friend. I'm a cousin. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Slide Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I am a father who has 5 hip-hop albums available on all major streaming platforms. Now, if you like, value, appreciate, adore, respect, lyricism, and conscious, positive hip-hop, go ahead and stream that up. Salute.
Salute. Coach D, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hetepu, peace and blessings and love to all of you. I am Coach D, your personal development life coach, nutritionist, personal trainer. Any of your issues you having in life, you can't figure it out, but that's what I'm here for. So reach out to me, find me on all social media platforms as Coach D. Look for me, I'll be there. Hetepu.
I'm not trying to be funny. As soon as he signed on, the whole conversation just stopped because of all the flyness that's going on. Look at him. Just too fly for me today. Right. Aaron, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yes, my name is Aaron. I'm from Columbia, Missouri. And I'm a pharmacy technician. I've been pharmacy technician about 20 years now. And all I want to say is justice for Andre Rowland.
I don't know. Kind of come closer to your mic. I could
you can't. Not on the new mic. Wait a minute. You can't. Not. Wait.
That's
the new mic. Yeah.
Do I got to get my monies back?
You might have to get your money.
No. I was too cool. I was see Coach D came and I got cool because I seen the coolness and it spilled over. So let me sit up because I got too cool and I leaned on back. Okay. Coach D, you see what you did?
You threw everybody off. John. I'm serious. He threw everybody off. But anyway, we have a special guest with us this evening. Her name is Miss Jamaica. I'm going to go ahead and allow her to represent herself. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jamaica Hughes. I am a licensed nurse and home administrator, as well as a nurse. Entrepreneur as well. I design custom tees, tumblers, DTF prints, any kind of graphics that you need. I'm able to get that out for you. So,
okay. Speaking of graphics, can I get a cup that says God Level?
I got it coming. For sure.
I just want one cup that says God Level. All right, we're going to keep it going. This is our second week of the month. We are talking about healthcare as it relates to patients' care, as it relates to staff. And right now, it's a lot going on. I don't know if anyone is paying attention to some of the strikes that's going on in some of the states. I know right here in St. Louis, SSM was actually on strike Monday. So before sending the patient over, we were just actually talking about this before coming on. So before sending the patient over, I had to actually call just to make sure the patient was going to be seen. I didn't do any research, so I don't know what their demands are. But I just know that being in healthcare as a nurse, I've seen a severe decline since COVID. Maybe it started prior to COVID, but after COVID, it has been a serious decline. Even though the money has went up, the care has went down. I don't know if Jamaica, if you agree with me on that. I'm just going by what I've seen in certain places. It's just not the same anymore.
Definitely has taken a decline. I did probably around starting 2019, the early 2019 pre-COVID, you can see where we start to experience a decline in nursing staff, period. So that had that started being a challenge for, especially us in long-term care. And I have fellow friends that work in the hospitals. They are kind of under the same situation with just not enough nurses.
Yeah. It's not just nursing facilities, it's hospitals as well that is challenged with staffing. People just, you leave one job and go to the next. It's just that easy. It literally is just that easy. If I get fired from here, I can go up the street and work at this place, because every place you go is already in need of staff. And and this is just not just here, this is all over. So that strike, I want to say I looked at the interview. The one lady, she was saying that we don't have enough staff for our patients, so we cannot give quality care to the patients. I know right now my floor holds plus 40, and it's just one nurse, one CMT. It's a lot. Depending on the acuity of care, that's a lot. If you have a lot going on, and right now in nursing homes, in a lot, I don't even say a lot, but in some, the age is starting to get younger. I know I have to be careful because of HIPAA, but I am taking care of a 52-year-old woman, and I'm just like, she's just a couple years older than me. The disease process with certain diseases, oh my God, the strokes, the CVAs, the diabetes, the hypertension. John asked me, what do I want people to take away from this? Your health. Make it top priority. Make your health top priority, especially in today's time when healthcare is taking a severe decline. Make your health top priority. If your blood pressure is out of whack, you already know what foods not to eat. Come on now, let's be real. Go see your doctor. If you don't want to do a MD, do holistic. You have options, but make your health top priority. This is no longer a healthcare system. This is a sick care system. They are going to only take care of you when you are sick. But let's focus more on preventable. Do that. I have two major men on this show that specializes in nutrition, exercise. Even Erin, I don't know what she got going on, but this girl is walking every day and she didn't hit the gym. I'm feeling some kind of way.
Yeah, prevention is cheaper than the cure. I don't want to, in 10 years from now, be sitting there. I've done everything up to this point, and I'm trying to repair. So I'm not at 52 years. I'm only 10 years in my mind away from 53, but I'm only about 4 years away from being that old.
Right.
So,
and it doesn't get any easier. That's for sure.
No.
Because one thing that I realize is that your body only takes care of you for the first 30 years of your life. After that 30-year mark, there's a decline. You have to take care of your body. Your body is not taking care of you anymore. So you got 30 years to develop a lifestyle that sustains health. And if you miss that mark, if you don't do that, then you will be dealing with premature death, premature chronic illnesses, way before your time. Way before your time. So
that was putting out. I have a question for Jamika. You are an administrator, so you run a building.
Correct.
You are in charge of everything. What are some things as an administrator you see that can change inside of a nursing facility?
You know what? That is an extensive list.
It is. Give me your top three. Give me your top three.
Just from an administrative standpoint and a consumer standpoint, an employee standpoint, I can definitely see where we can upgrade facilities. You can make them more modern for not only for the staff, but for the residents. I think some of the facilities are just so outdated. They're just really out of touch with where we are in the world today. They date as far back as the 80s looks. You still have the old traditional photos on the wall of old farmhouses and things like that. So it's not even brought up to current. The place that I am at today, I think we do pretty good. So we're in line staffing. Of course, we would always want to see that. I'm not, I think our wage is very comparable. So that's not one of the biggest to-dos. It's just nicer, more up-to-date, more better equipment, more just up-to-date stuff. I don't think I can get any clearer about just the need for more modern stuff in nursing facilities. I think that would help out a lot.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, just owners investing into the facilities, a little bit more. But again, it's always a flip side to them, the ability to be able to invest, into the facility. So,
as far as money wise, that extra cash. Yeah,
it is. And I always tell people, sometimes I have to play the devil's advocate because I get to see what others don't see. And while we assume that because it's a business and we have X amount of patients, that a certain amount of dollars are being generated. Well, the revenue is only as good as the kind of patients that you get, right? So if you get a high acuity patient that requires a lot of care and needs lots of supplies for, I'll just throw this out there, say a trach patient. Well, the things that they need, those trach care kits, the inner cannula, those are not cheap. Tube feeders, the tube feeding, just a case of tube feeding, you are running a feeding all day long. You get 15 to 20 people on that, and they are on all different feedings. And by the case, you need multiple cases to keep feeding them. That's not in addition to the food you're buying for the kitchen. So when you get done in your utility bill, I had never in my life seen a $2,000 a month water bill until I come into long-term care, $10,000 a month light bill until I came into, a facility where you get to see the actual bills. So, and the food costs, I place supply orders every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I can tell you I'm placing close to a $4,000 order on supplies.
Wow.
So when you think, we've increased salaries in the facility pre-COVID anywhere from $7 to $10. Post-COVID now salaries versus pre-COVID salaries. I just said it last time. Staff CNAs were making where I come from, $11.75. CMTs are making $12.75, just $1 more than the CNAs. This was just in 2019.
Right.
So everyone, COVID came, we got the bump in salaries. Mind you, Medicaid rates didn't change, Medicare rates didn't change. None of that changed. All of those things stayed the same. So, with that being said, so owners absorb more higher payroll, but they didn't bring in anything more. So with that being said, cost is cut in other areas, right? So they give you more hourly wage. But you have what is called your PPD. So your PPD, it's a balance, right? It's a true balance. So where before you probably could have had 5 to 6 aides with ease, where now you probably got to figure it out with the 4. So it's a balance. So on paper you get the numbers, but they got to balance it out somewhere. Whereas you used to be able to get boosts for your resident, now you just get whatever they call as the house supplement.
House shake.
So it's areas, you cut costs where you used to have a little bit thicker washcloth. Now you get this, you can see right through the washcloth because it's no longer in your formularies to order because the cost has to be absorbed somewhere.
Wow.
So I guess I'm sorry. I was going to say, do you feel like that has affected the care of the patient due to the morale being down because of the decrease in your staff?
I don't think this,
and not just at your facility. I'm saying just
overall. I got it. Overall. I don't think the morale is even down due to staff being cut. We can't even get enough staff in to meet the PPD where it is. If that makes sense. You know, so you have the PPD, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad, effect, because you can't even get enough staff on a consistent basis to see if it's epic fail or this is great. This is a great plan, because there's the inconsistency with keeping constant staff. So that's a challenge. I think morale wise, I think the mindset has went the opposite direction in long-term care. Before, we were totally focused. We loved what we do. We came in it because we had a passion to care for residents. Now everyone knows you're guaranteed in this profession you're going to make a minimum of X amount of dollars. And that's hard work. So if you don't have a passion to do this hard work that you are coming to do, you're not going to put out good quality care. You're going to come in and you're going to get your paycheck, and the quality of care is going to suck. The residents are going to be displeased. Families are going to be displeased. Your facility. So it's a lot. Crap rolls downhill. So then you're going to get bad reviews. You're not going to get the residents you need in the building to generate more revenue, so that you can get some of these nicer things and be able to get more, employees and things like that. So it's a downward effect for just the way things are going in the long-term care or nursing period.
Now, do you see that you see that being a trend? People are coming to that practice and not have the right amount of compassion so they're coming there just to make a paycheck.
Just to make a paycheck. And
so are you seeing that a lot?
Oh yeah. And the agencies have played a major part in the demise of our profession, because the agencies, facilities, we need staff, right? So the agencies, these are the numbers they put out there. Never in the history of, and I was even myself as a time when I was a CNA, we paid CNAs up to $35 an hour, what they call premium pay. Now, mind you, the CNA they didn't get all that because some went to the agency. So the CNA probably panned out about $27 on their own. And just 2019, that was a nurse of 5-year salary.
Yes.
We nurses, they were happy to come in to get $23 LPNs to get $23 an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So what we're being paid now is unprecedented, and the amount of work that's being turned out is subpar. It's subpar. So, and I know that's a not a favorable statement to people that think they're out there doing the work, but I can speak on it because I do the work too. Not only as an administrator, I'm a nurse. And I think that nurses should make good money? Sure do, because I would benefit from that. But I also know the reason that going into nursing, you have to have compassion. The skill set. I don't know what's happening in nursing schools today. I don't know what is happening, but the skill set needed to care for the residents that are in the facility circulating today, they do not have it. They don't have it.
Me and Renee was talking about that, how, because I was a CNA before I was in the pharmacy.
Likewise.
I was 17 when I became a CNA. And
likewise.
I'm talking about I was ready to get in there and take care of those people. And I did went above and beyond. But somehow, it started to wear me down. And I don't know if it was because there's not that many people that come in gung-ho. I'm not sure where everything turned, but I had to get out of it because it just wasn't for me anymore.
It's turning. It's definitely turning. Around that time, 2018, 2017, 2016, it definitely became more about the money. I remember when I was in nursing school and we were at the hospital just training, and this lady who I was taking care of made me read a letter from a nurse that she trained. And she talked about how these young nurses today are just all about the money. And I literally sat there and cried. I was like, oh, wow. She said, that's all it's all about. That's it. coming into nursing, I was just, my focus was to be more like my mother as a CNA. I went from CNA for 7 years and I became a nurse, just like my mother. And then I ran into a great nurse. You already know who I'm talking about, Miss Jamaica. I ran into a great nurse. Like this woman, a lot of people that have worked with her consider her the GOAT of nursing. When you see her, you know the standard of care that she is expecting you to give. And trust me, she has no problem with saying, you know what, maybe this is not the right place for you.
Oh yeah.
She has yeah. But if she see greatness in you, she will definitely pull it out. Oh yeah. I miss working with her. I will say that. But yeah.
Well, say her name.
I can't. She doesn't like that.
I would let she's
okay.
My mom.
Yes.
Okay. So I can say it. Her name is Rose White.
Yes.
Her name is Rose White. I worked under her. She was my first supervisor, boss as a CNA, and that was the hardest time of my life. You know, and I was young, 18, and she fired me. She fired me from my very first job as a CNA for my attendance. Yeah, she did. She fired me. I was like, you knew I was sick, but I was within my 90-day probation. She's by the book.
She is.
Yeah,
she's definitely by the book. But she has an eye for greatness. She recognized early on that I was textbook.
Yeah.
She pulled me to the side and she said, you know, you're textbook. I need for you to get out of that. You need to be more patient-centered care. I didn't understand what she was talking about at first. And then I realized, yeah, patient-centered care, everyone is different. I've been going by textbook on what you would do versus textbook versus the patient. I was like, huh. Yeah. I felt like a brand new nurse working with her. And I had been a nurse for 6-7 years. Mm-hmm. And when she took it, she will pull it, honey. When I go to other places and work with other nurses, I'll be like, well, you don't know that? How come you don't know that? She taught me that you know everything that's going on your floor. You know who's on antibiotic, how long they've been on the antibiotic. Is the antibiotic effective? Like she wanted you to know everything. And made. So when I came across a patient
that you see like that, I said, are there many that you see like that after her, that you've seen like that after her, or is she few and far between?
No.
Few, far, and in between.
Yes.
Few, far, and in between.
And this is why I said, say her name. One thing that we've got to get back into the tradition of, this is our ancestral tradition. They say that the way you suffer the second death is when people stop calling your name and mentioning your good deeds. So when you speaking good deeds about somebody attach their name to it so that we all can speak her name and say her good deeds, even after she's long gone, but it keeps her living. Her essence is still here serving us. Okay. Great. So that's important.
Okay. I'll take that, Coach D. Miss Rose White was the best nurse I've ever worked with.
Listen, she was also, I worked with her one place as a nurse, and I vowed never to do that again. And I didn't. I won't. As a nurse.
Okay.
I could, and it wasn't her. It was the expectations of the people around because of her expectation. I couldn't breathe. With your coworkers, I had to be almost perfect, and it ran me in the ground.
Yeah.
So it was nothing that she did. It was just the expectations. And because of who she was, I worked so hard to live up to that so that I didn't want to shame her any kind of way. As a nurse, so I often went above and beyond. That was, and sometimes it was exhausting, to me, just because I wanted to ensure that she always looked good at what she's asking from you, she's expecting from me. But it was really double time. What she, it was a lot. So I was like, no.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only reason, because I learned so much, and I have her in my pocket. I can just Hey,
Yeah.
mom, do.
Yes. Yeah. If she said a good nurse doesn't knows everything, but she knows where to find it.
That's it.
That's what she taught me. A good nurse doesn't know everything, but she knows where to find it. When I walked through the building at one particular job and she seen me, she called me by my first name. And don't nobody call me by my first name. No. She said, Takesha? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, come on, fill out this application. Sit right here. I'll be right back. I was like, well, I just came to say hi.
No, she
knows.
She knows.
Come on. What do you want? What shift do you want to work? I was like, oh, okay. I just went with it.
That's it.
That's all you can do. That's it. And I knew her expectations.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
And that's what a lot of facilities no longer have, expectations, because we're so grateful to have a body to come to work that you just, you know what time do you think you can get here? And I found myself falling into that cycle as an administrator because we wanted bodies. We wanted people to come to work, and staff knew that. They knew, they're like, well, they need us. And I was like, you know what? We do need you, but you still need to eat. You need a paycheck. Everybody's not going to turn away. Everybody's not going to quit. Some will, but everybody's not. Those who want to be here and abide by the rules, they're going to be here. And the way I explained it to them, see, your shift starts at 7 a.m. You're not a Walmart greeter. Somebody really is going to miss you. Somebody's going to miss you. That means that's an hour longer that someone is stuck in the bed because you're not here to go ahead and start the process to get them up. That's an hour longer that someone may be soiled. That's an hour longer someone that has to wait to be fed. It wasn't looked at in that way. It's like you're not, nobody's not, we're still going to go in and out of Walmart whether the greeter is there or not. But I can't get out the bed if you're not here to help get me up. I can't wash my face. I can't feed myself if you're not here to help me. So you need to be here timely. That's why it's a shift. Yeah, it's a shift.
In other words, there's no sense of pride in what they're doing. There's none. They have no compassion.
Yeah.
It's like Martin Luther King said. He said, if you're going to sweep streets, then you sweep streets the way Michelangelo painted pictures. It's like do it with that level of excellence. And we come from a long line of excellence. And I mean, so there is no excuse. And, we need to carry on that tradition. Everything we do is excellent.
Excellent.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. And that's missing.
Go ahead. I'm going to throw myself up under the bus. I've been coming in late. I'm so sorry. I've been coming in late. I have
God level.
I'm just, and I'm being honest because I know the people that I work with are probably watching this. Like, Renee be coming in late. I'm gonna throw myself up under the bus. When it comes to that passion, I've had some things happen to me on this particular job, and I kind of lost touch with my passion for the work that I do because of outside influence. Yeah.
And I've been saying that what you experienced had nothing to do with the residents. It was probably people that you work with, right?
It was.
So
they didn't like change. They didn't like change.
Change is always hard, but change is definitely a part of growth. And so your growth may not always be, and I tell even what I say to the employees, your growth may not be for the right now. It may not be for what you're doing here at this particular job. Your growth and test could be the right now for something that you need to experience later. So you fail the test when you do what you do. You digress and you turn away from the situation instead of taking it head on. What can I get from this situation? What is the message in this for me? Is what you're looking for. Not necessarily, they wronged me or they did that. Okay, this happened. But what can I take away from this that happened that I can grow and build upon? I'm not going to alter who I am to prove a point to a circumstance. That is only a circumstance. I'm going to rise to the occasion. Okay, I don't like that, but this is what I'm going to do moving forward.
I feel like I just got schooled, but okay, go ahead.
Well, and that's the way my employees, anyone who works with me, they always know if you don't work with me, you just did not want to go to work, because we're going to get to a solution. We're going to help you. I want to bring out the best you that's in you. And to do that, we may have to peel away some layers. Sometimes work for me as an administrator turns into a therapy session. Sometimes people you hear as, in the facility. So that's going to get back. It all ties into what I'm saying. In the nursing home, we think that people come in and just be poor caregivers because they're lazy, and that's not even always the case. I had young ladies that are getting beat up at home. They come in, they're not moving fast because they're tired or lazy, but their body hurt from getting beat on. Or they got a limp today because something has happened. So as a leader, I learned not to assume that everybody's lazy in the workplace. And they're just doing giving out poor quality of care. Sometimes we want to stick to the black and white, right? But then I've kind of included a gray area. And sometimes in leadership roles, you have to have a gray area, because some parts of you are the God-given part of me. There's a ministering part of me that sometimes help guide and navigate these people to their greatness in our profession, if that makes sense. So don't always be so quick to throw the towel in on people, because I always tell people, if God should have threw the towel in on me a long time ago, but he didn't. And I get a chance on top of chance on top of chance on top of chance, right?
Right.
So you take those chances and you try to make those chances the best chances that they can give you each and every day. So, and that's the way I kind of, work with our people, even though I know that we have a lot of challenges in the long-term care. And we always say we're looking for solutions. We don't have a right now solution to this problem, because we don't have an influx of nurses that we can just go bring in. That would solve a lot of it. We don't have an influx of patients that we can just go in and fill our beds up to solve the revenue problem of the facilities. We don't have it. So we have to make and find solutions within what we do have in a facility and make it look so beautiful that it would potentially draw those things in. And, a friend would tell a friend, like, hey, they're really caring over here at this place. You may want to come try it out.
Right.
And that's
how would you make that industry more competitive? It's lacking competitiveness. And so this is why you're saying that you're having the issues that you're having as far as getting people in, quality people. So what would you think it would take to make that industry more competitive?
So I think the industry is very competitive in the wage aspect. So it's not competitive in other wage aspect where it's very competitive. So I think it needs to be more attractive. Like some of the nurses, I noticed they're striking for more wages and things like that. But the wages is not it, because like I said before, you can give me $5 more an hour, but I still got, with $5 more an hour, that same 20 plus patients that I had yesterday with $5 less. So will I be happy for the $5 an hour more when I see my paycheck? Absolutely. But will I still be tired? Will I still be that, this is too much? I will, because I've been that person. Yep. They need to give me more money. I've been that person. Yes. So I've gotten more money. Nothing else changed outside the more money. So the money part, we already know that's not it. You got to understand what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an entitled culture right now. Entitlement is where they are. Everybody should be. So, where I come from, supervisor, you respect your supervisor, that they're in charge. That is not the way it works now. Everyone feels entitled. And everyone feels that respect has to be earned. You no longer just get respect because you are, quote unquote, the supervisor, right? So it has to be earned with the people. So I'm one of those people. let me tell you this, and this is the way I manage. I kind of manage passive aggressive, right? Passive aggressive. So I'm going to put a little sugar on the honey to get the results that I need. I don't have an employee that won't do anything I need, I get it done because I let them know they are important. Wow, thank you so much. I show them, I praise them. I show them appreciation for what they do. I pay attention to the little things they do. I highlight the little things they do. People don't realize a little bit of appreciation goes a long way.
Yeah, positive reinforcement. Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's what we need to get back to in our industry, noticing the small things. People have gotten just so desensitized to noticing and paying compliments to people. It don't have to be nothing really, really big. It can be something small. I go down like, wow, wow, these rooms are really nice. Whose assignment is this? You know what? It could be just an average looking room or average looking assignment. Nothing went far. But you know what? I noticed that you took time to try to do a good job. And I take time to let you know that I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So
is the work hard?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's where it is then. A lot of people ain't running to it because it's hard work.
And so they're coming for the finances to pay.
Yeah.
And we, the residents are the ones who get the short end of the stick. If I can do the bare minimum and get my paycheck, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. And it's physically and mentally hard. It's not just one. And when you got that combination, everybody that's working knowing that if you have that combination, it wears on you. But it definitely is physically and mentally hard. It really is.
You brought up something during the powwow, how this generation is different from the last generation that came into nursing as far as the digital age. They're not used to dealing with people.
Yeah, they desensitized to compassion because everything is on a computer.
Yeah, when we came in at 17, you didn't have all of that. You dealt with people. Mm-hmm. So we came in with that compassion, that passion to do the work, to do it well. This new culture that's coming out now, honey, they be ready to fight you with just saying good morning wrong. Be like, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I kind of way you said that. I'd be like, that's not why you're here. And it's more about them doing what they want to do and getting paid what they want to get paid. That's it. I'm just like, oh, wow. But I try to remind them, I don't think you all understand that every employee in this building is going to trade places with one of these residents here.
Wow.
You're going to trade
eventually you will be in that bed.
You're young now and you're able to do what you do now. But there's going to come a point in time when it's even in the Bible, but once a man, twice a baby, that, excuse my language, somebody's going to have to wipe your ass one day.
Yeah. You will be in that bed looking up.
You're going to be in that bed. You're going to need that cup of water. You're going to need to be dried. So how you're treating them now is basically determining how you're going to be treated later on.
Sooner than later, because I have residents as young as in their 20s. I do.
Didn't I say that last week?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got the baby boomers that's all getting old at one time, and they come into the nursing homes because a lot of people don't take care of themselves, so they do have. A lot of people are not fortunate to stay at home. So you got all them. Then you got the younger ones, car accidents, or a lot of them. I'm thinking is drug related or some type of lifestyle that has brought them there. Yeah. So you just pile a patient on top of patient on top of patient, and you got 6 people in the building.
Yep. Yeah. They are all getting younger. John just posted a question: what influences staff members to lose compassion and care for the job? If they didn't come there with it, then they never had it.
And then some of them are overworked.
Overworked.
You got people that want to make those
Yeah.
big paychecks, and they double, they working doubles back to back. You know, I was
Ooh,
young, I could do that. I
I
can't do
can't
it
do it
now.
now. I used to
But you
work
got some
16,
people that wear
16,
themselves out.
16.
hmm All I was doing, I could do three doubles in 1 week at
Yeah,
17.
yeah,
By the time I
yeah.
hit 25, I was not no. You bike, you can stay 5 minutes extra, but that's all I got for you. Because you
I
burn
got 10
yourself
years of
out.
overtime in me right now. A lot. So yeah, if to lose compassion, a lot of them didn't come with the compassion. Period.
You know, I signaled this question mainly because I found it very intriguing how there was so much respect, reverence, understanding, and compassion for nurses, medical professionals during the onset of COVID. And then it kind of just
Dwindled.
yeah, it kind of just dwindled over time. And it's very interesting because, you know, COVID is still real, right? But I think it's very important to really break down what influences something like the Kaiser strike that's going on right now. 75,000, I believe, right? 75,000. Some things that Jamaica was mentioning, I could also see as influencing the compassion or the reduction of the compassion, the poor leadership that's out there, right? So if you don't have a competent leader that's motivating you or even professionally developing you and caring enough, and of course you got to carry yourself, but I understand that leadership is a very critical point to that. I mean, that's in any industry, right? If you have poor leadership, that's going to lead to a lot of poor outcomes. So I know that's one of them. I want to ask, is the job monotonous at times? Are there tasks that are just very monotonous, like they're so repetitive that you kind of just lack the engagement? Like, are there tasks in nursing that are like that get monotonous?
I try to be fun at work. I don't like routine.
Okay.
I try to make it different every day.
Maybe taking vitals or something like that.
Huh?
So maybe taking vitals.
Y'all was both talking at the same time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, beloved. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, when you're working with people like that, I don't think you can have that much. It's not like working in assembly line or it's
Okay.
something different every
It's
single day.
yeah, patient-centered care. You can try to have a routine if you want to, but it never works out because you have to account for emergencies that happen. You could be in the middle of doing your finger sticks. Guess what? Somebody just went down on you. You have to stop what you're doing and go see about that patient. So there's no such thing as having a routine. You can try. You know, a good day is being able to get everything accomplished without anything extra going on. That is a good day. That's a damn good day. You know,
So it's kind of like in our industry, John. Even though we have a certain format that we take our clients through, there's the warm up, the workout, the stretching, but you got to stay hyper vigilant. And if you got 6 clients, you know, in a day, that's 6 hours worth of work where you're doing back to back. But even though we might be doing the same things, but it doesn't feel like the same because it's a different energy, a different personality, different program, and things like that. So it's kind of like that. You got to stay hyper vigilant in that medical industry, that healthcare industry.
That is a very great correlate because when I think about it, every individual, and I mean, we're blessed to be in a country where we promote individualism. It's a blessing and a curse, right? But I understand that when I'm dealing with my 6 o'clock client, right? Her needs are going to be different from my 11 o'clock or my noon client, right? The needs are going to be different. So you tailor yourself to meet those needs. Someone might be, you know, like the jokester over here, or they might need that dopamine rush. They might need that conversation, you know? So you adjust yourself to fit those needs, to address those needs. But I that's interesting of itself, right? The motivation to do that, right? So it does require a specific character, a certain level of development within yourself. That's beyond professionalism, really, right? To just genuinely care, even if the pay isn't all that great, right? But I want to pivot right back, to addressing some of those elements that contribute to this lack of compassion. I also kind of heard toxic culture. Are there toxic cultures in these clinics and hospitals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine
when you have 80% women and very few men. You be catty. Yeah.
And I think that's across the board, because even in the pharmacies, it's been like that, where there's you got your basic work bull, and then you got your unnecessary bull, and that comes with the people that are working there. And I'm not sure where I mean, you got different walks of life that you work with, so a lot of gossiping, a lot of messiness.
Yeah.
A lot of, if it's a man or two that works on the job, it's a lot of them that want to be their girlfriend, and it's more than one of them want to be the girlfriend at a time. I done seen fights at the job because they messing around with the one guy on the job. So, look, she's shaking her head like,
I've always been able to steer clear from that kind of foolery at workplace. My personality is just that if you have a problem with me, I may notice that something's wrong with you, but I'm not going to entertain it, because when I got a problem with you, you're going to know it. I'm going to come tell you directly. I don't do subliminals. I don't do anything. I'm going to say it with your chest kind of person, because I'm going to say what I mean, what I say. And what about it? I'm just a matter of fact kind of person. So I never really, I've heard things that people have said, and I'm going to wave and speak to you until you tell me something different. Hey, how you doing? Until you tell me something different, because I just need, people have to be adults, and they have to have hard conversation. You have to have a hard conversation. If you disagree with something I said or done, I'll tell anybody, and everyone that works with me know that I'm going to say this. Why would you tell him he can't do anything about me? Why? I mean, I'm the only person. I'm not approachable. You may walk away not liking what I say, or we may walk away still not agreeing with each other. But at the end of the day, as adults, you need to be able to communicate. Even in high school, I've never had to deal with like stuff like that, because I'm not for it. I don't indulge in it, and I'm not gonna let it come to me. And if it does, I'm gonna stop you right at the door.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. That part of the work, I miss it. I don't get to. I'm just like, ooh, that happened. Wow. I hate to hear that for them, but I'm not having it.
So Jamaica, I have a question for you. Do you think adequate resources or inadequate resources could also contribute to a nurse or a staff not feeling the compassion because they don't have the resources to perform their job?
I would think in a situation like that, a nurse, they shouldn't get to the point to where they feel that way, especially if they have not reached out to let someone know what it is that they need. If you went on and you didn't ask and say, hey, could we get, or do we need X, Y, and Z, and no one knows, so you're allowing yourself to feel away, then that's another problem nobody can help you with, because you yet again missed your opportunity to vocalize your needs so that I could get you the resources that you need. Or it could just be something as simple as me walking you through a process and educating you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want you to know what they don't know, right? So they mask it by shifting the blame elsewhere. And most of the time in nursing, that's typically what happens, because if you're in a facility, there's very few things that you're not going to have that you need to care for the resident. A lot of things are essential to running the building. Is it the most up-to-date one? Probably not. But do you have it? You sure do. You sure do. As an administrator, I am responsible to make sure you have those things. You're not going to get in trouble. You're not going to get a tag on your license. That's me. So an administrator is going to make sure you have, is not the one you want, of course, but it's the one that they allowed us to be able to give you. So, Yeah, nurses, that's mindset is everything. That controls everything as to how you flow and everything that you do. Where your mindset, your mind has to be in the space that needs to be to do what it is that you set out to do.
You should not be afraid to ask questions.
Perfect. Yep.
That's it. Because I don't know what the nurse across the hall may know.
You don't know.
You cannot be afraid to ask questions. So, I hate to say it, and I'm like, Miss Rose did not like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? What does that mean?
There's
What
no
does that
reason
mean?
not to know.
It's no reason not to know. Did you ask someone? Did you ask the question? Did you ask a question? No, she didn't know. She didn't understand it. I don't understand it either. So if I come to work and you say, "Oh, I didn't give this TB because I didn't have any TB syringes," did you go to the other hall and get some? Or you just took that, "Oh, since I don't have it right here, I'm not gonna do anything about it."
Yeah. Who did you ask?
I can't stand it. I cannot stand that.
Because guess what? If they don't have it, it's something as a supervisor that you can give them, Renee, that you can do in place of waiting to we'll use the TB that you brought up. So guess what? It's a symptom checklist. You don't have the solution right now, but you go ahead and at least do the symptom checklist until your TB syringe come in. So it's always, you got to communicate.
Got to communicate. It's a lot of
get a chest X-ray. It's stuff to be done. So yeah.
Just pass it to the next shift.
Well, let me ask this question, because I think this right here makes a big difference as well. In the fitness and health industry, you pretty much have to be an example of what it is that you are promoting for your clients. So it's a very healthy. I don't know if y'all ever been to any kind of fitness summits and conventions, but when you go there, this big, convention center is filled with the most beautiful people, because they're fit, they look good, they're happy, and things like this. And that carries on into the gym and preventative, basically it's preventative healthcare, because this is where you exercise good dietary habits, good exercise habits and things like that. People are happier dealing with that. And that's whether you're in acupuncture, chiropractic work, or straight up fitness or physical therapy. But then now you turn it over to the healthcare system, then there is a lower life expectancy there for the workers, because they themselves have they don't have a healthy lifestyle. And it could be because of the demand of the job. I know more of them, especially the ones that I spoke to, because again, I was a paramedic at one time. So I talked to a lot of nurses before. I've had clients that are nurses. And one thing that I noticed is they said that the job is so demanding that they almost don't have the time nor energy to take care of themselves after they take care of so many other people. They be working, 16, sometimes 20-hour days. And so what do you think? Do you think that might contribute to a more positive and more mentally healthy environment if they had that type of opportunity to work on themselves when it comes to preventative healthcare?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. You talking about that have an independent and with the staffing challenges, and you're working in nursing, you don't want to leave them hanging. You're picking up these extra days, which is leaving less time for yourself. And 7 o'clock is just the time you're supposed to get off, but you have to account for certain things, counting that card, giving that report, and if that nurse is running late. So sometimes it can be stretched to 8:30, and then you go home, take a shower, go to bed, eat what you can while you're at home and when you at work, and and then you just start that day all over again. And sometimes you're working 4 or 5, 12-day hour a week, 4 12s a week. So when you do get that off day, guess what you're doing?
You're
in
sleeping.
the bed
You're
The
resting.
whole day.
the whole day. You ain't worried
Mm-hmm.
about walking out the door, going nowhere. Guess what? Instacart is doing your grocery shopping. You're paying all your bills online. You ain't got to go here. You ain't got to go there. You're in the house.
Mm.
You're resting after 36-hour days, or I'm sorry, 3 days back to back, 12, 24, 36. That's a lot.
It
That's a
is a
lot.
lot. Um,
And we're dealing with
and
bodies. I got a
mm-hmm.
man that's as strong as you.
Mm-hmm.
It's shoulder wise, solid. I'm looking at him like, where did he come from? But he suffered a stroke.
Yeah.
And he looked he skinned beautiful. And I'm like, man, a stroke? Now he can't use half this one side of his body. That is starting to become heartbreaking to see our young people come in there. I'm just like, nursing homes is not for the little old ladies in wheelchairs anymore. It's not. It's getting
You
younger.
he added the the health and awareness preventative, but then you got to think about the industry itself. It's depressing. These people are waiting to die. And I
Yeah,
hate to say it like that, but most people don't go to the nursing home to come home. You got
right.
they got rehab places that that get people together to bring them back home. But usually this is your last day.
It's the last stop.
So if you think about working with all of that morbidness, the death, and you don't think of it like that when you're working in that situation,
Hmm.
but you got to think about the energy that surrounds your
Yeah,
last day.
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's
Yeah.
another wear and tear. I mean, it was on me, and I can't speak for anybody else, but that was one of the wear and tears. Like, this,
yeah.
oh,
You see a
I'm
lot of
mentally,
deaths,
yeah, mentally tired. I'm physically tired. So
emotionally tired.
you can't
You
change.
get
That's
attached.
something that you can't even
Yeah.
change because
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of the industry.
You get attached to these residents. You become
Definitely
their
get attached.
families. Because some families, you will run into those families that will drop someone off and keep going, and you will not hear from them for
And you're the
months.
family.
You
Mm-hmm.
become their
Right.
family.
Yeah.
And people that
Yeah.
are not in the nursing home world, they don't understand. They don't realize, like a lot of us, it means the world to a resident to have a McDonald's cheeseburger periodically, and we do it. Yeah, it
Mhm.
means the world to get some
Yes.
fries or something like that. And people that are not in the industry, they don't understand why we fight so hard for these residents, because it's like we are all they get to see.
That's
You know,
it.
we're the only ones that are showing them love,
Yep.
and so it's
Yeah.
it's sometimes you need a couch to go lay on and tell somebody about this when you leave work.
Man. Yeah.
You take on the
Mhm.
employees' issues, the residents' issues, the family issues, and then just see the overall job that you went there to do itself. You need a couch.
Mhm.
It can become draining,
Yeah.
and you take on. You sad. You don't even know what you're sad about.
Yeah.
Like, why
Mhm.
am
Oh,
I sad? Because
Yeah.
the holidays is coming up.
Yeah.
Mm.
it gets really sad around this time.
It's going to be an
Yeah.
influx of family. Um,
That
Coming
they
up.
haven't
Yeah.
seen all year long, except for
They haven't seen them all year
holiday.
long. You're right. Coming in with their complaints. And it's like, where was you at 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago?
So
Yeah. And that has to be due to the to the influx of modern times, because when we go back to ancient times, it was actually a very highly prestigious position to take care of those on their way out, and also to oversee them once they have transitioned. You understand that that's the most important time in somebody's life, because we're moving from this realm to the afterlife, to that everlasting, in that realm of eternity. It's just like preparing somebody for graduation. You see how what we go through to get our kids ready when it's their senior graduation or it's their college graduation. all this stuff that we go through, we stress ourselves out, but we take pride in seeing them walk across the stage. At the same time, whoever was the overseer of anybody who was transitioning on their way out, it was a highly prized position to be in. In fact, any position where you took care of anybody during any stage of their life, because we are here to nurture and to bring health and vitality to that divine essence that dwells in all of us. And so so for people who don't understand what's next, those who don't understand what's next or can't connect to that, then I could see them getting burned out. But once you understand it, you don't get burned out. You get excited and you make sure that they are ready. So yeah, so this is definitely a different time among us, for sure.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point that you're alluding to, especially given like your initial comment about being the representative or being the example, right? So when you look at part of the issue in our healthcare system is you don't have the examples, being of service to those who are not, right? So you have sick people taking care of sick people rather than healthy people taking care of, So it ties into the toxicity of the culture. You got sick people that just infiltrated the system. They're getting paid to really spread their sickness to other. And it's weird because we're not even just talking about one level of sickness. We're talking about all those, right? So it's not just, all right, you're physically disabled. We're also talking about the mental disabilities. Again, we're talking about these character types that are out here, people that don't have the work ethic. And so they're spreading that into the healthcare system, and it's affecting, they're already suffering. And so this is who we're hiring. So, wow. Yeah. So even the healers need healing. Right.
It's inherently called the human condition, beloved.
Say it again.
This
the healers need healing.
The healers need.
Yeah.
The healers.
This is the human condition seeping into such an industry. It's the human condition. Period. So and we've got to change that. That is I just implore everybody, especially us, to really look at ourselves and look at our situation and see and really see how can we, not just as individuals, but how can we collectively change these things, because it really is governing our reality.
Yeah, you touched on some good points as far as mental health, spiritual health, and then just the way, I don't know what the audience is going to take away from this or how many healthcare workers we have that will watch this, but just the experience. Because when you say it that way, it makes it a lot different than these people just come here to die.
Yeah.
When you say that I am prepping you for your next journey,
life,
or
transition.
When you put that in there, it puts some prestige on it. It makes you want to, it makes you want to do better. So the way you put that, I really like that, and I hope that whoever's listening or watching implements that within the nursing home. Like you are walking these people through their next journey.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to use that.
Yes, that is a very, very, very important period in our lives.
Yeah, it brings pride when I'm listening to you say it. It brought some pride to the situation.
Yeah.
I like to take go ahead.
No, go for it, beloved. Go ahead.
I wanted to take a step back to something that God Level had referred to about the industry being oversaturated with female nurses, right? So is there anything that male nurses would offer to the industry that female nurses couldn't?
Good question.
Because I understand the dynamics as to why men aren't like scurrying to hop into these professions. There's a lot of forces that, and some of them are psychological, some of them are cultural, right? But I'm just wondering, okay, even if it is a problem that there aren't enough male nurses in the industry, and maybe it would be nice to have them, I don't know, right? But I would like to know is there anything about men that make them suitable to be a nurse? I mean, now I can see one. Physical strength, because I know that, you know, certain patients you're gonna have to move them and such.
Oh, definitely. We do call them when we having a problem with a big guy. Like, hey,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
go get Greg. Go get Greg.
I think men could bring a balance, you know, like again, Guy Level mentioned earlier that it is 80% women, and with women comes a lot of cattiness, so that men could be that balance in a facility, because men are just a matter of fact kind of people. You know, they don't do a lot of debating back and forth. You know, it is what it is, kind of just. So I think that can bring a balance. Believe it or not, sometimes as a woman, and my husband is a matter of fact kind of person. Women, we kind of veer off the subject or veer off the topic or situation at hand. We go around the form and get to the point, right? Whereas a man will bring you right back. Hey, you know, that's we're not talking about that. This come back over here. Come back. You know, so a lot of balance is definitely needed in long-term care. You know, it can combat a lot of estrogen. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Combat the estrogen, the emotional up and down, and things like this. You know, men be like, "Hey, not today." You know, you're like, "Well, I was just about to cry," you know, and a man be like, "Cut it," you know, and so so I think that outside of that, you know, that they will bring a balance and a sense of calmness to the long-term care, and I've seen that happen because they are straight, you know, just to the point. Matter of fact, cut out all the other gibberish. What are we trying to do here?
But they got to be about their business. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, that part. So
first,
it's another thing.
You got to be about their business. You know, the good business. You know, the job. The job.
Because it can go the opposite way with men in long-term care. They become more desired.
Yeah.
by the 10 women that we need them to balance out, you know.
Right. We don't need you to balance them out physically.
Right.
Hey, well, that basic instinct kicks in.
You know, because it's a lot of them, and you know, and we're gonna leave that alone.
But that too, that still needs to be, when it comes to that work environment, you know, that still needs to be addressed as well, you know, because that takes a sense of security and also maturity, you know, that even though a man is desired, you know, by his you know, female co-workers, he doesn't have to give in. In fact, it makes him even more attractive if he doesn't give in, if he stays about his business, you know. But but I know they give in. It happens in our industry too, John. I've seen trainers ruin marriages and things like that. I've seen it happen. And I vowed that would never be me. In fact, I even gave up a client because I knew, you know, what was, So I was like, I'm going to refer you over here to this person, you know. And mostly I'd be open because I couldn't resist her long. That's how bad she was. So I was just like, you got to go. You got to go.
At least he honest.
So,
right. He was
Yeah, but that's the integrity.
I couldn't resist the long. I would have head up against the wall in 2.2 seconds.
She would have looked, just a couple more flirting words. It would have been just like, you got to go.
Let's not even break up a happy home.
My integrity is my integrity is first. That's of highest priority. Integrity first. Got to go.
Well,
so never in my life or in my career in almost 30 years, I've never ever had that incident with a client like that. So which is cool.
You don't keep your honey where you make your money, or
can't do that.
Yeah.
Like they say, if you where you eat, you're gonna end up stepping in it.
I wanted to say that, but I was trying to be nice with it. I don't shit where I eat.
I read you.
Thank you. I don't shit
I
where
read
I
you.
eat.
So, is there such thing as is there an association for nurses like there are for like psychologists, for physicians? Is there like a nurse, American Nurses Nursing
board.
Association? Oh yeah,
Missouri State Board of Nursing. Yeah, Board of Nursing.
Yeah, they have. They do have. They even have a sorority, a nursing sorority, and so forth. So it's sisterhood and things like that out for nurses, but you have to take advantage of it. Everybody does not take advantage of it, and and be a part of it. But it's out there. But it still does not touch on a lot of the things. It's more informational, more educational, and does not touch on the things like what we're experiencing with the SSM nurses and was it Kaiser, so forth. They're it's not for things like that. I'm really excited for those guys that they have a nursing union. I really am. That is like major for those nurses at SSM to even have a union. But as I mentioned before, I don't, some of the things, I don't know all of the things, and I could have missed it. And this could be something that they're bargaining for. But for me, as a nurse and knowing the benefits that we are afforded, a pension would be definitely at the top of my list. It would definitely be at the top of my list. So we retire, we are going to default back just like any other person to the Medicaid or Medicare, whatever is left for us after paying, when we get our little Social Security, and then now you have to work all the way up to your 67 to even benefit, to get that. And it's based upon whatever you've done or the amount of money you've made within the last 5 years of that time frame, so I would definitely think a union, the union is a good thing for those nurses to have, but a pension would definitely be it. Because guess what? I think the salaries are definitely today very comparable. I think they are comparable to the cost of living. Ask for something that you don't have, that is really almost that you cannot attain on your own, that you would need outside help to push to help you get. You can bargain for a salary. I can go around the corner and bargain for a few more dollars. But I can't go and
or a nursing pension. The same as a teacher's pension. I said you would think that they would have a nursing pension just like they have a teacher's pension. Nurses are more important than teachers, if you ask me.
But the teachers are state job, government jobs, so that's why they have that perk, But something like why we're so-called heroes or superheroes and all those things, especially when the pandemic came. Like you said, after all that, it subsided, we fell back into, the afterthoughts. A few people got their student loans covered. Not all of us did. All of us didn't benefit from that.
I did not. Yeah.
All of us did not benefit from the stimulus package because of whatever tax bracket that they thought that we are in. So it's like, so the people that are out there, quote unquote, what we were frontline workers, not all of us got to benefit from that. And all of us, and I'll say me, showed up daily to work when other nurses, as the administrator, being a nurse, I showed up and worked the COVID unit because I had not a nurse to work the COVID unit. I showed up when I got home at 7:30 after being there from 6 o'clock that morning, only to get a call at 11 o'clock to say there's not a nurse in the building. I still had to yet again show up on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
And when you go back to what you were saying, it caused me to end up taking blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
Exhaustion, tired. So it's a thankless to man. I'll say that to man, it's a thankless profession. But I know the reward is bigger than man.
Of course.
So each day I would go in and give it all that I had. But just when the flesh part of you want to be like, somebody show me some appreciation, some kind of way. You know what I mean? You're looking for it because you look over here, and I know this is probably far off and this is great for our entertainment, bring in lots of money, but you got a person putting a ball in a hoop that's living their best life, filthy rich. And here I am putting a needle in a vein. I need it to sustain life.
Mm-hmm.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Say that. Say
Peanuts.
that. Yep.
So it's just because when you look at it, you're like, you just kind of, you just look at where it is today. It's just like we are caretakers, but yet a person who, ooh and for all the craps and giggles, they got the big houses, they got the extra large checks and the beautiful cars.
You know what? With your analogy, then that means that the surgeons are the basketball players of the profession. Then
they still don't live like that.
They still.
Oh.
They still don't live like that. They are well off, but they don't live like that. They live well, but they don't live like that. You mean what surgeon are they offering? And this is on the low end, a $5 million a year contract. What surgeon?
No, not one.
Not one. Over 5 years, of course, in 5 years, you get a $75 million deal. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. But we are those same people. We are expected to be able to care for them. We swear and stand and hold our right hand up to take oaths that we're going to do right by them, take care of them, and our people. And I say them. I love them. I mean, oohing and ahhing for them. But it's just the unfairness of the way the things are.
Yeah.
So
before health, before life.
And yet health insurance is almost not even affordable.
Right. Exactly.
The workers, the healthcare workers, nurses in our world. Do you know what it costs for us to try to get health insurance for our family? For us? And then if we get health insurance, how good is it? What is it going to pay?
That's crazy.
They don't give us a discount if you work at a hospital, nursing, you don't get no health care discount just because you work in healthcare.
The best thing about going to the hospital for healthcare is knowing a little bit about what they're supposed to be doing to you and for you. That's the perk.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like working at I knew somebody who worked at Disneyland, but she wasn't paid enough to take her family to Disneyland. She couldn't afford to go to Disneyland. I know people who work at hotels that they can't afford to live. That makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So I get what you're saying. And that especially healthcare, that should be definitely accessible to people who work in the field, to some degree.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It should be free.
It should be.
You would think. For the ones that work in healthcare.
You gotta work in
the ones that work in healthcare, it should be free. If you're a nurse or above, it should be free. And it should be discounted to CNAs and CMTs. It should be free.
Something, like either your tuition pay. Well, you go to the right place. You gotta get your tuition paid. I think there should be something across the board, especially even with the nursing shortage, as they call it now. It should be something, tuition reimbursement or something just across the board.
If you offer free
to get the people in.
If you offer free health care to nurses, we will have an influx of nurses.
That is big.
That is huge. You mean to tell me I get free?
So that's one thing that could bring, could bring more people. Because right now, to get the best healthcare packages and benefits, you have to work for the government, the state, the city, or something like that. They get the best healthcare benefits at this point. So
see, my husband,
because even when I did, I worked for the city of Houston. When I was a paramedic firefighter, we got great benefits. Yeah, it was great benefits. So understood.
What were you getting ready to say, Jamaica?
Yeah, if it wasn't for my husband, I couldn't afford our health insurance. Because it's like who wants to pay $400+ a pay period for health insurance? And it's still not top tier. They
And
still
Is that
now
got
just
you
for
cop-
see all
medical?
the time.
And that's probably just for medical. That's not even
yeah.
including vision, dental.
And you
I'm
still
Yeah.
got a
like,
copay. You still got a copay.
you
You're
still
not
got a
using
copay.
it all the time.
Mm.
The only thing you're getting free is your yearly exam. They just added
And
that, but I still got to pay $50, $60 every time I go to the doctor now because the copays keep going up.
And you know why the health, and that's another thing I needed to find out why is healthcare in our facilities like that is because of our turnover rate. Most places with, yeah, that's why like good benefits and insurance is because they have stable employees. And they, the companies have to, assume the cost if, for the lack of employees in order for you to have a better insurance package because of the turnover.
Mhm.
And enough people in long-term care because guess what? They don't feel that we make enough money, so they take their chances and don't even pick up the health insurance. So again, the employer would have to assume the responsibility as if they had a full house of people of employees to get this great benefit package. So they meet in the middle. What is it that we can get to have to offer to the people that's not gonna be so taxing? And that means the employee assumes the greater cost. Because again,
Mhm.
so some of the stuff is because that it's self-inflicted by us as employees, and others is just owners are not looking. So it gets really deep, and it's like when I became an administrator, I wanted to educate myself on as many avenues in the profession that I could, so that I would feel comfortable talking to my employees and educating employees or people who just don't know, and I needed to know. So that I could have an idea as to like what are you working in, what are you dealing with, why is this? Because I had a lot of why questions, a lot of whys. So I still got a lot of whys, but I got a few more answers than what I started out with.
That's what's up.
Well, that's why I say, when we think about, getting on a regular, physical exercise program, it doesn't have to be all that old crazy stuff that you be seeing on social media. Just be active. Okay. Exercise is a form of physical activity. That's one thing. When you have a regular regimen of that, also cleaning up your diet and also practicing some stress relief, functions, meditation, taking time out to read to yourself or something like that, gardening or anything like that. See, that's what I call health assurance. So health assurance, if you prioritize health assurance, you won't have to worry about the premiums of health insurance. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. Because I haven't had health insurance in quite some time. and it's risky, but listen, I have to stay in the gym. I gotta keep this good, this taking care of myself.
Good physique, yeah.
And God forbid if some traumatic happened, but hey, that's why I'm staying vigilant and making sure that some things minimize the risk of anything like that happening.
Exactly, that part right there. And that's the key issue right here, because when we're still talking about health, it is an investment. There's a financial investment involved, right? So
Yes.
the ideal situation is where you're cutting the expenses that it takes for you to sustain adequate level of health. You're trying to cut the cost for that. It shouldn't cost so much to maintain adequate health so that you could perform your life purpose, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Preventative. So the health insurance, I understand that as a tool to try to offset the cost, right? And maybe even incentivize health-seeking behaviors, right? I could see that. But yeah, he's on to something. There needs to be a lot more emphasis on the preventative measures, which aren't as costly, and then using health insurance if it is necessary and accessible as like the worst case scenario. Oh snap, riding a bicycle and I got hurt and fractured my, I don't know, but yeah,
shoulder, because that actually happened to me a few years ago.
Yes.
But hey, it did. Same. But look, and look, no type of intervention. And I fell off my bike. I was going downhill over in Santa Monica, California, going downhill, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's because I just came up a hill and then I went downhill, and I'm not sure but somehow I lost consciousness and I fell. So it was a free fall, and I had a backpack on, and that backpack bored into my shoulder to where I had to be in a sling, but I didn't have any other intervention, and it healed, and through some physical therapy and stuff like that, and I'm fine. But if I had not been in shape, that would have took me out. That would have took me out. Because it hurt it.
It's not gonna lie, it hurt it. Hi, Ivy. I hope you're doing well, love. She says she's traveling and my health doesn't do too well with travel, but you guys are doing great. Awesome convo. We miss you tonight, love. Sorry you couldn't be here. Get to your destination safely and fire your doctor.
She's over there teasing me, talking about no bedazzling.
Yes.
Right.
It's so crazy.
So we gonna put that on the shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't bedazzle the client, so
Can't be bedazzling.
We coming up on 120, 126. We've been trying to be very vigilant with the time, keeping the time like right at 1:30. So before we go out, first thing first, I want to thank Miss Jamika for coming on tonight. We're doing healthcare all month. Just so you know, if you decide you want to join us next Sunday.
I'll be out of town next Sunday. The following week, we said another week, I can come back.
Okay, wait
and
a minute.
I'm going to write a list of stuff down, that I'm going to go back and survey my area. And I'm going to bring in, if it's okay, when I talk to some girls, like a couple of director of nursing, and see if I can get the infamous Rose White on.
Yes.
She'll come. She'll come. I'll get her. Yep, I'll get her. She'll
I'm
come.
nervous already. I'm nervous already.
She'll come, and I definitely think that she will be able to, in some of the areas that that I like in, because she's definitely out there. She's the director of nursing, so she gets to see and talk directly to the nurses, and even more than I do. So I think that would definitely be kind of a lot of these questions that I saw that's coming up on the screen that I'm going to take back to her and ask that she is prepared to give us some answers on her thoughts on this. If you guys will have her, I'll definitely get
her.
Okay, I'll get her.
That's not even a question. Yes,
I'll definitely get her. She'll be there, and I've got
October 22nd. What we're talking to October 22nd.
Yep, October 22nd. I'll confirm with her tomorrow for sure, and I'll get back with you and let you know. And I will definitely get her on, and she can give you definitely a lot of insight as to the nurses. And I definitely, like I said, I tried to, and I was slow because I was running around doing a lot of stuff. I'm going to tag a couple of nurses when we come on live, and I'm going to send out the invite so that we can get some people in and get some participation and have some of those hard questions to come in, because I know they wanted. I told them about it, but I was slow on the trigger to get them pulled in tonight. But on the 22nd, I'm gonna have a panel with us so they can get in that comment and put some stuff on there. I'm gonna get the girls in because I want to hear from them too, so they can be kind of. I was like, I said it.
Yeah,
we're on the things that people don't want to talk about. Okay, so we're gonna say it.
That is why this show is here. That is it.
It's a lot. I went back. I'm not always able to get on at the time, but I go back and I watch the show all the time. And a lot of times I have always set up to come on and want to say, I went back and watched. I've watched about with the young ladies and the molestation. So I've watched a lot, but I'm always, if you guys don't, a moment of transparency. And I've told God level this, that I'm pretty camera shy. I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like talking. So I don't come on and say a lot of stuff that I have so much to say all the time. And today I said, I'm just going to do it. I have a lot to say. A lot of those subjects I was going to go back and ask if we could revisit because I have a lot to say.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
I have a lot to say, a lot of input. A mission of mine and a goal, this has helped me a lot. I love to minister to young girls, and like molestation, child abuse, things like that resonates personally for me in a lot of areas. So I do a lot of mentoring and talking to younger people about that, because that's what's in me, is passion. I'm passionate about those things, and the uncomfortable subjects I'm comfortable talking about, with people, because it's again, for whatever reason, God, that is what has been given to me, and that's what I to talk about with people. So those are things I love speaking and talking about people with traumas. God has put me in a position as an administrator to be able to take in. I absorb, and I tell you, so much of that from people, and I don't know where it comes from. A lot of times it just flows. It flows, and I'm always able to help somebody. So I was like, I enjoyed it. I just didn't have the confidence that I needed to meet on a forum like this, to be able to share those things and be comfortable saying it. But he's given it to me. I'm ready. So whenever you start around,
I'm
excited.
I'm gonna wait till we go backstage, because I'm there. Like, yeah, John, wait a minute. Before we hang up, what you got for us tonight? Anything?
Sure, we can do compassion.
Perfect.
Like that.
Perfect. That would be perfect. Go ahead.
So I'm looking for compassion. Compassion that's calm, compassion that's strong. I'm passing it on like it's genetic. I'm sympathetic to your suffering so I could help. Before I gave it to you, I learned to give it to myself. It's essential for my health, good-hearted. It's hardly good to care about someone or something I never felt. That's superficial. Sometimes that's how we use it, though. It's inexcusable how compassion gets staged like musicals. Am I delusional? I see you like the respirating breathing tubes you're breathing through. I'm treating you with critical care, serving you this glass of optimism that's clear enough for you to see it through, and drink enough for me and you. When you're dying of thirst and your humor was dry, like the memes about Will Smith, Tyrese, and Kanye crying from hurt, everyone's laughing at a joke that I don't get, called compassion. But don't get it confused. Empathy makes you feel, but compassion makes you move. It's astounding, a profound thing. Prince said that compassion is an action word without boundaries. It's a necessity. I fashion it abundantly. Sometimes the ghetto treats it as a luxury. Analyze the state of humanity. Kind of crazy. Teenagers deal with depression. We call them lazy, like the single Black mothers in the 80s raising babies who now have to choose between school and keeping the baby of a father that was molested as a child. Kill the hate with compassion, bury it with a smile. May my words of affirmation be your eulogy, and you cry at your own wake, because I beautifully speak life to your death wishes. My best wish is the kiss of life from Sade with the red lipstick. Spot your cheek and it hits it to wake you, not sedate you, because a love tap hits different. Compassion is a prayer in the flesh. It's multiracial, yet it's still oppressed. Love me to life. Don't love me to death. If I'm drowning in a sea of regrets or swimming underwater in an ocean full of stress, I just hope that your compassion takes the form of a lifeguard vest. Yes. You see, I love gifting people stuff, but I exercise my heart by lifting people up. First come awareness, then come passion. I learn to be patient and be less reactive, and more understanding and more upstanding, thinking out the box to be more outstanding. Put myself in your shoes. We wear different sizes, though. The blind ain't leading the blind. Nah, my eyes are closed. So I can understand what it means to be sightless, as you take me to places that you described with your words. See, I found epiphanies in my empathy. Heartbreak dance so well, it don't miss a beat. Heart too wealthy to ever be broke. Heart eyes see too clear to ever lose hope. See, I'm clearly on my paper like a laminate, but I'm spiritually wealthy because I'm compassionate, blessed.
Yes.
Man.
That
was
All
man.
right, all right.
That was right on.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Right
perfect.
on time.
Perfect.
That was every piece he has at the end of the show always go.
I get lucky most of the time. Most.
No, you don't.
Take the compliment, John.
And I don't think it's not luck.
Right.
That ain't
Take
luck.
the compliment, John. Just take the compliment.
There were a few where I was in another direction. There were a couple.
Whatever. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. I want to thank our special guest, Miss Jamaica, for coming in. And what can I say? Facing her fear, she conquered it.
Yeah.
Did look with ease.
Folks. Look at you, girl.
With ease. Coach D over there. Oh God, I don't know what to say.
I love you too.
Just looking so cool. Aaron, Master John Skywalker. This is things that people don't want to talk about. We will see you all back here next week for part 3. John, you got me?
Salute y'all.